And then at the back end, there is this one little window, WordPress SEO for Yoast. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 things you need to turn your attention to. That's all. And in each of those 4 things, you simply have to make sure that right of abode in Hong Kong is present. That's it. You have to make sure that the language in this piece is kind of descriptive of what you would want people to read when they arrive on the search page and they see this. It's a little bit of creativity there, but that's not, technical. That's just using language properly. But as long as right of abode in Hong Kong is in there, that's it. Done. So each piece of content you produce follows that simple formula. But this is the gateway into your content database. There are 2 other things that you need to understand, and that's it. The first is that you have to break down your body of knowledge into a series of categories of subject matter that make sense in the context of your particular expert niche. And in our case, we have probably less than 20 categories altogether, and we'd never have a need to go any greater than that. So once you've developed your categories, then you say to yourself, right, when I describe every aspect of my niche, what are all the natural concepts that emerge that I would want to have as a tag to a particular piece of work that speaks to the fact that that concept is being addressed in that context. So then what you do is you understand what all those little elements are and call them tags for the purposes of your WordPress site. And then once you've done that, and here are your tags, and we have about 300 in ours because it's a very wide, deep niche, but your niche might only have 10 or 20. But what we've done is, when we've identified all those tags, we then describe them. Because by doing this, what you're empowering is the Google algorithm to come into your website via the words right of abode in Hong Kong. We'll go down through your content and we'll be able to understand kind of what's going on there. In my instance, that there's a podcast that's going to deliver content to answer that question. And then it comes down in through the back end, sweeps all the way through your database, comes into contact with all of this, and at some stage in the future, all of that will be a perfectly merged body of information on this particular niche. And that's how this system works. So you've done your SEO, you've produced your content, you've then got to get it out to the world. So this is what we do. We publish everything on HongKongVisaGiza.com, which is my daily blog. This thing gets syndicated, so a complete copy of it with the look and feel changed is sent to Hong Kong Visa Centre and Hong Kong Visa Handbook. And Hong Kong Visa Centre is the website where we transact, it's where we sell services. But we also have our complete content library within this website. The Hong Kong Visa Handbook is our do-it-yourself guide to the Hong Kong visa process. We have a complete copy of our library of content nested within the Hong Kong Visa Handbook as well. Then, because we did something very interesting in the early days when we didn't know what we were doing, we fortunately, as it happened, inherited a very wide series of syndicated exact copy websites of our look and feel, because these were all hosted on exact match domains. And so because we were naive in the early days, we went out and did this, and we realized that the way that we were populating it with content wasn't in our best interests. We then brought it back into the realm of our mainstream publishing activities, and it means that now, as we publish in various categories of our content, we can send that specific content over into the microsite that it relates to, So it allows to actually to have a wider number of URLs on the web, which means that we can be found much wider and in so many more places. So we have about 150 of these. And you can find your way onto one of these microsites but not realize that you're on a microsite because they look exactly the same as the other sites. So we've syndicated our content this way, and then we populate this content on all of these social media channels. Because what this means is that you have people who they hang out on the internet and they prefer to live in certain places, and wherever they prefer to live, that's where they usually start their searches for information. So if you've got all of your content taken out of here and is ultimately populated in one of the social media platforms in your own brand, then the likelihood is that somebody who searches in Facebook for our purposes Hong Kong immigration will always be able to find their way to us. Similarly, if you search on Twitter and Google Plus and of course LinkedIn. So you have to get all of your content out of here and get it across here as well. And as you do this, you reach into all the nooks and crannies of the internet where people hang out, and you've got a very good chance of being found.